Yeah, let's do NFC wildcard.
Okay, because I definitely see the second place team in the North probably being the 5 seed. For me, that's Green Bay today, and it might be Detroit tomorrow. But I guess as we sit here today, it's Green Bay. I think I'll go Green Bay as the 5 seed, and then I'm gonna go both 49ers and Rams as the 6-7, which means the Eagles miss out on the playoffs for me. So Nick Sirianni take a hike, bud, if that happens. And then also for me, that does mean Atlanta. Things didn't go well enough and they missed the playoffs as well.
Yeah, all Kellen Moore is, he's getting excited now hearing that. I'm like,
Your chance is
yeah.
coming, Kellen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I think like you, the Packers are probably that 5 seed. Then I'm gonna go with the Rams as a 6 seed. And then for my seventh seed, I think I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'll let Sirianni keep his job for now. I think I'll go with Philly here. I think
Is
they can.
is that enough?
I don't know. The Philly crowd is pretty restless.
I think a 7 seed and a first round exit, he still gets fired to me.
Yeah, I think Howie is firing him, but I mean, at least you can say you made the playoffs, but that's all for nothing.
And one thing important, speaking of coaches getting fired, I think also with my 49ers kind of starting the downfall thing, that's going to line up really good for about 3 years from now. After the Chiefs finish their six-peat and Kyle Shanahan gets fired from the 49ers, Andy Reid finally retires and he goes and gets his Patrick Mahomes when Kyle Shanahan comes to Kansas City. I've been
Oh
calling that one for like
goodness.
2 years that Shanahan's going to be the next Chiefs head coach.
Oh man.
He's going to go full Andy Reid by replacing Andy Reid.
Oh man. Oh boy. You know what? Sure. Why not? Let Kyle be like Andy once again.
Yep.
So NFC there. Let's talk about the AFC wild card. Let's do that. Who do we have making the wild card here?
So for me, the division winners are Chiefs, Dolphins, Bengals, and Colts. So from my wild cards, I'm gonna go the Ravens at the 5 seed, the Bills at the 6 seed, the Texans at the 7 seed. Which,
Mm,
just like how a year ago we sat here and said, "Oh my gosh, how do you not get all these guys in there?" That means those Jets don't make it, right? That means the Browns don't make it in. That means that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert don't make it in. That means
yeah.
a really fun Vegas team doesn't make it in. There's just not enough playoff spots for all these AFC teams.
Yeah. No, no, it's not. I kind of liken it to the Western Conference in the NBA. It's just like, who are you going to have in here? Because you're going to leave somebody out that's good. Somebody's going to be missing out, and you're going to miss out on some, star out here, out west. And like, man, we could have had this guy, but, the West is so loaded. So, yeah, it's with the AFC. So, my division winners for the North, I went with the Ravens. For the East, Dolphins. South, I'm going with the Texans. In the West, I'm going with the Chiefs. For my wild card, I'm going to have the Bengals getting that first wild card. I'm going to have the Bills get that second wild card. And then for my last one, I think I'm going to put the Jags in here. I think they'll do just enough. And they'll make it in and they'll scrape by, but it'll be a quick, appearance. So that's who I'm going to have for my wild card. So, what the playoffs really kind of set up with how it is right now, who's making the AFC Championship, who's making the NFC Championship, and then who's making the big game and winning it is what we have going up next.
So I will have the AFC Championship game. Screw it. Let's do a rematch. Give me the Ravens finding their like slugging their way from a wild card spot to the AFC Championship game to lose in Kansas City to the Chiefs.
Uh, you know, Man, that kind of reminds me of me picking UT to go to the CFP playoff and picking against them. It didn't feel good. It hurt.
No,
It hurt so much.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna have the Chiefs in this game, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals here. I think we're kind of flip-flopping here, and I think the Bengals make it from that wild card spot. I think they get back here, but I think they lose to the Chiefs. So kind of a similar
That's a
scenario
lot
here.
of fun.
I mean, those
Because
matchups are
right,
a lot of fun.
well, and we both have the AFC North wild card team, not the AFC North winner, the AFC North wild card team, then going on the playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our and so I think we're both going Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs win that one. So they got the Super Bowl. Now for
Yeah.
the NFC, who do who do you got making the NFC?
So I'm gonna go. I think Detroit. I think the NFC North winner is the one seed, regardless of who it is. Oh my gosh! I just knocked over a bottle. Thank goodness it was empty. I think the NFC North winner is the number one seed. And I think that's huge either way. Because that means you're going to Lambeau, and that's a tough place to play, especially when it's freaking cold out. Or that means you're going through Detroit, where their offense has just been amazing at home. So
Hmm.
in my scenario where I decided to settle on Detroit as winning the NFC North, and I don't know, flip a coin, I guess, but I'm gonna go Detroit here. So I'll have Detroit hosting. I'm gonna have Detroit hosting my. You know what? Let's just put them against each other. Let's do Green Bay versus Detroit. And in this universe, we're playing it in Detroit, and so Detroit wins. It'll make it easy for when I change my mind later tonight. You're right. I'll be drinking some Coors Lights and playing Shadow the Hedgehog later. And when I change my mind, it'll be real easy. It's okay. Well, it's still the same matchup, but now it's Green Bay winning it, right? So it'll be nice and easy. But I'll have Detroit over Green Bay, which leads me to a Kansas City versus Detroit Lions Super Bowl.
Oh man. NFC Championship. I think I'm gonna have the Lions, same as you,
Okay.
but I think looking at the rest of this conference, I think I'm gonna have the 49ers still in here. But I think the Lions, they learned their lesson from last year. And I think I'm gonna have it the same as you. So I think we're gonna have both the same picks.
Wow. Have we ever had this before?
I have to go back and take a look. Maybe we have, or maybe we haven't. I don't
I don't
know.
know. To have them be also like just structured so similarly is impressive. Now I will tell you, Ryan. So as I mentioned earlier, Rebecca already kind of seems uncomfortable with the whole like being the hated favorite situation.
Yeah.
Um, my goodness, America will be so behind the Detroit Lions in this matchup.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, even like the rest of the state of Missouri is going to be on these Lions because we all were there. I mean, like as long as you're older than probably what 15, like
Yeah.
you were there sitting through these crap Lions games at Thanksgiving. You remember Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford, but only winning like 4 games. You might even remember Dan Orlovsky running through the back of the end zone back before he was just an ESPN guy. Like there's a lot of bag over the head, nasty, dirty underbelly history with the Detroit Lions that we all vividly remember. I remember playing as them on Madden a bunch because I enjoyed taking the Madden franchise as a crappy team and turning them around. So Ryan, much like how Cody Rhodes was able to finish his story at WrestleMania 40, the Detroit Lions have to lose first, though. So I'm gonna have the Kansas City Chiefs, Roman Reigns, put your ones up. They're gonna win this round, and then maybe next year we can get to finish our story with adrenaline in our soul, the Detroit Lions on a roll, but not this year.
Yeah. I think I think the Chiefs do get a three-peat. I know Rebecca and we talked
It,
about it. There are questions there, but I think, you take a look around the league and it's like, I mean, you can see it. There's a path.
yeah. And it's really hard to do. And if I were allowed to just take 31 teams to take the field, I would take the field. Um, I cannot make an individual team argument over them though, right? It's the
Yeah.
thing with this exercise of like, how can I justify picking any other team to win the Super Bowl? I just can't. Like if I have to pick one team, I'm picking the Chiefs. Now, if you said it, Matt, you either pick the Chiefs or you pick Lions, Packers, Bengals, Ravens, give me the four there, right? But that's not the game we play here. That's not what you can do. So you pick
Yeah.
one team, you build a bracket. Like it's why in March Madness I always end up with ones and two seeds in the Final Four. It's because like I'm not picking these teams to lose those specific matchups at any point. And so yeah, that's how you end up just kind of spending your entire life picking the Patriots and the Chiefs and
Yeah.
being right more than you're wrong.
Yeah. It's a safe bet. Throw a dart at a dartboard. You want to throw it at the Chiefs or the Patriots. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be rooting for the Lions too
Sure.
if
Yeah,
that
me too.
happens. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
I'll be rooting for it for more than one reason. I'll be rooting for Hendon Hooker to get a championship ring, so therefore we can have a UT quarterback get a ring. I'll take it, even if he's not a critical part of it. I'll take it. Uh,
I did my best to be a participating family member at this, a loving fiance, a great future son-in-law. Like I've done my part this past year after the Ravens lost to the Chiefs. I did my best. And I remember when they left and I said congratulations to Rebecca's mom and my voice like dipped midway through the word, not even on purpose. It just did. I was like, congratulations.
uh,
Like it just happened and she noticed and Sharon's like, gee, Matt, don't sound so happy. I'm like, I tried. I did my best for you. You beat us though, right? Like it's my whole Mike Trout thing, right? Everybody loves Mike Trout because Mike Trout's never beaten you. Well, now you beat me, Chiefs. So now I'm mad at you too. Do we want to knock out these awards real quick?
yeah, let's be real. You're probably the better fan than I would be. I would take it way too hard. I would be still bitter about it years later. It's like I'd hold that grudge.
Honestly, I'm more bitter at you and the Titans from 2019. I really am, because that was the year. Like, that was the one.
Yeah.
That's
Shout
the
out
one
Earl
where I,
Thomas.
oh, that poor guy. Uh,
Great fullback
well,
though.
speaking of children, let's talk about rookies, I guess. Who you have for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
It's between Marvin and Caleb. I think it's between those two, but I think because it's a quarterback, I think I'm gonna go with Caleb.
I will also go with Caleb, but I'm going to give my honorable mention to Jaden. Like, I know it's basic to do first and second overall picks, but like, Jaden could just go be Robert Griffin the third, like in his rookie year, and
Yeah.
just wow us all.
Now defense. This is a tough one.
Who's the guy who was taken in like round seven, and but was still like the fourth defensive player drafted?
You know what? I think I'll
I'm
go with Jared Verse for the
oh
Rams.
dear, Ryan. I was about to say Jared Verse. Okay, I'll give Chop Robinson then, just so we have some differences here. I'll go Chop Rob. I'll chop him Gunther style with Chop Robinson on the Miami Dolphins defensive end. These defensive awards are often going to go to guys in the front seven, right? Because
Mhm.
tackles and sacks just happen more often, and they're easier for voters to see and do, as opposed to like a really good corner who just doesn't get thrown at as much. It's just really hard for those guys to win these awards. So for both rookie and defensive player of the year, front seven's kind of just the way to go.
Yeah, my runner up was Byron Murphy. I was close to picking him.
Okay, that's a good one too.
So next up, let's just go offensive and defensive player of the year. Who do we
Okay.
have?
So, offensive player of the year, I am going to go with the guy who I have wanted to make be the first overall pick in fantasy this year. and I just couldn't quite get myself to do it because he was sitting out of the contract problems. Give me CD Lamb. And I know it kind of feels like it should have happened last year with how amazing and great he was. But Tyreek, was just ungodly even better, and so is Christian McCaffrey. Both those guys are a little bit older, so maybe they take a small dip down, and CD remains of being that Devontae Adams target type guy he was last year. Give me CD Lamb.
I think I'll go with Jamar here. And not because he's on one of my fantasy teams. I need him to go off this year. But I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with
Are you
Jamar.
are you worried at all about him missing week one?
A little, but I think it'll be fine because I mean I do have the Bengals making the championship, so I mean there is some comfortability there with knowing that they're going to be there for most of the season. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase here. I think
Okay.
he'll get it, and maybe he can lead me to a fantasy championship. Hopefully,
I would also be very happy about that because I too have him in two leagues.
I mean I'd be also happy about McCaffrey since I have him in two leagues too. So, defensive player of the year. This is not the it should be named the Aaron Donald defensive player of the year. With how many times he's won it, it seems like. But he's not going to win it this year. I feel like it's between either TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, maybe Nick Bosa. I could also throw in Chris Jones here. Who are you going with?
I'll give the honorable mention to Max Crosby, but I will go with TJ Watt. I'll just go with kind of the easy answer. Give me the gimme putt with TJ Watt. But like you said, absolutely Myles Garrett, but I want to give the honorable mention of Max Crosby also.
I think I'm going to go with Garrett. I think we're going to stay in the AFC North. I mean, we talked about these two guys last time. These two guys are just unstoppable forces. So I think the next one is Coach of the Year, and I think I'm going to go with Dan Campbell on this one. Give it to him.
See, I think Coach of the Year oftentimes is masqueraded as Breakout Team of the Year. And so I don't think the Lions qualify that anymore after what they did last season. Give me Jonathan Gannon with the division winning Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Philly's going to be even more bitter about that if that happens. It's like, hey, come back, be our coach, and we can't Sirianni.
Or they can split it. They can have co-winners of Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon.
Oh man, Philly would really be better then. And then finally, I guess the big one, MVP. Who are we going with?
I'm gonna go. So I'll give you two here because comeback player of the year is a trash award, but same guy for both. Give me Anthony freaking Richardson to
Oh
win
wow.
comeback player of the year and MVP. Why not? Let's go crazy.
You know what? I think I should make a Cody Rhodes reference since Joe Burrow I have winning my MVP.
Adrenaline in your soul, MVP for Joe Burrow.
Yep. There we go. And I also have him in two of my fantasy leagues. So
There you go.
yeah, so everybody, that is our NFL predictions. So Matt, as always, fun time making these predictions. We'll see which half we're right on, which half we're wrong on, which one we were completely off base on by the end of the season. So it should be a fun one.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Go check out Matt at ADP, the Average Dudes Podcast. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of content throughout the season. Don't want to miss that for all your fantasy football needs. And you can check out this podcast where you guys get your podcast. Check us out on YouTube, 573 Podcast, or check us out on Twitter at 573 Pod. So, everybody, that'll do it for us on this edition of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And we'll be back and talking about some real live NFL games. It's actually happening. We're finally here. So, you don't want to miss that throughout the season. So, till then, everybody, take care. And we'll talk to you next time.